In this video, we are going to discuss the console. You did not see the console in Programming 1. When we used Visual Basic, all of our programs were graphical programs. However, you will see the console quite a bit in Programming 2. The console is a command line interface. There is no graphical elements, no form, no buttons, labels, etc. It is all text-based. When the user is asked for input, the program simply stops and waits for the user to type in input. So when we look at a console application, as you see on the screen, we don't have a Form 1 class or anything like that because there isn't a form. We just have a class program, and then we have a method called the main method. This is a functional program. If I run this, you will see something flash up really quickly and go away. As this compiles here, the console disappears as soon as the work is done. As you saw, it flashed very briefly. You might have missed it, but the console goes away as soon as the work is done. So we just can't click the debug or play button to start a console app. There are several ways we can stop the console from exiting when we're done. The first way is using the keyboard shortcut Control F5. Use the and let's use a Programming 2. Use a C# comment there, not a VB. Use the F5. So if we press Control F5 to run the program, we see something different happen. We see on the console here, press any key to continue, and then the console goes away. So you'll want to do that so you can actually see the output of your program. Otherwise, as soon as the console is done executing code, it's going to go away. So how do we get data to the console? Well, we use the console class. And we have some commands that we can use here. We can use readLine and WriteLine. Read is to get things to the console, or excuse me, read is to get from the console to the program, write is to output. So let's put something in here. What is your name? So let's put a prompt in here. Let's write out to the console. Let's actually close the quotes so we have a proper statement. So we're going to write this, and then we're going to read the next line into the console. Now when I run this, it's going to ask for my name. I'm going to say Crompton, which is my last name, and I'm going to press enter. Well, nothing else is going to happen because I haven't, just like a value on a form, I didn't do anything with it. I pulled a value in but didn't do anything with it, so nothing happened. So let's assign it to a variable. So we're going to say string name or string str name equals, and then let's equal it to the console read line. So let's take the value in console read line and put it in str name. Then let's write out so let's try this exercise again. And now we see the output. I know it's small in the video, but now we see the output. Your name is, and the value of the variable. So these statements work just like writing to a, this looks very similar This looks very similar to writing to a label or writing to a text box. The only difference is we're writing to the console instead of the text property of an object. But the actual syntax of the statement is pretty much the same. We have text, and then we're going to concatenate, the value of the str name variable. Now in C#, if this was a numeric value, just like in a text box, I would need to convert it before I wrote it out. So let's look at that real quick. So we're going to take console write line. What is your age? So now we need an integer variable. So int age equals. Now we have a problem here. We can't do this because console readline is a string and we're asking it to do an integer. Now in Visual Basic this will work fine. This will not work in C#. We actually need to convert this. So convert to int32. Now we're ignoring error checking here for a minute, because if I were to type apple into this, we would have a runtime error. The program would crash. But for right now, just for simplicity's sake, let's assume the user is going to put in valid data. And we'll do it on a new line. So console write line, you are Now you'll notice here we're going to have the same problem. Int age here won't work. We have to convert it to a string because we're writing to a string object, or a string. Console wants a string. Console write line wants a string, so we can't just say int age. We have to convert it back to a string for it to work here. So let's run this program now, this very simple program. So your name is Crompton, you are 35 years old. So there we go. So in this video we looked at very simply how to use the console. Now when we create a new project, to create a console application, we simply pick console application under C# instead of Windows form application. You'll be seeing the console extensively throughout this course, so it'd be best to familiarize yourself with it by using some sample programs. We'll see you next time.